Hi again guys, and welcome to episode 29 of Global Contenders, the review series for the touring cars of Gran Turismo. Now this particular touring car has been on the game for a little bit longer than some other touring cars, especially some of the premiums, and the car is a vehicle which I've referenced a number of times, and probably will reference again throughout this series, and also some other series as well. And one of the main reasons why I quite often reference this car is due to just how good the value on this vehicle is. There are some race cars in particular on Gran Turismo which aren't necessarily the best of their type, but they are just so cheap that the value is almost automatically good, because they are so dirt cheap that they're perfect for beginners, and even if you don't use them against real people, they can still come in handy in career mode, in seasonal events, etc. And this, I would say, is one of those vehicles. Now, straight off the bat, the price on this car is 75 grand. That is dirt cheap for any race car. There are cheaper ones. The Beetle Cup car, for instance, is only 25 grand. But what you get from this car definitely surpasses that vehicle. Now, 75 grand is basically sports car money. For sports car money, you get a 2-litre engine, rear-wheel drive. The fact that it's based on an Altezza means that you're already working with a pretty good starting platform. The Altezza, which would of course go on to be called the Lexus IS200, etc., is known for being a good sports sedan. It's more affordable than many others, but it has a good fun factor. Now, that isn't necessarily essential for a touring car, but it certainly doesn't hurt the car. Visually, it's not a real vehicle, obviously, but what they did with the car to make it look like a touring car, I think looks really cool in the case of this vehicle. You have a couple of different colour options to go for, which is basically just detailing. You've got a bit of colour around the grille, on the wing and the rims, and it changes the race number. That's about it as far as the colour changing goes. But from that 2-litre engine, you can produce 549 horsepower. That's pretty impressive. It also puts out 321 foot-pounds of torque, which isn't as impressive, but isn't bad, and it weighs in with a slight weight loss package at less than a tonne, 995 kilos, meaning that it does undercut many other touring cars. The horsepower per tonne is 552, which again is pretty good, especially for the price, and the PP when fully tuned is actually quite reasonable, 570. That's certainly not ridiculously high, but at the same time could be potentially useful. Now, as far as the range of this vehicle, competitively speaking, it's not really the kind of car that's going to beat everything in its way. Of course, I don't think anyone would expect it to. But what it is good for is lower level racing to moderate level racing. As long as you keep it within that level, it's pretty good. It's good for seasonals at different PP levels. It's good for, as I said, lower level racing, in particular lower level touring cars, cup cars, maybe even against some rally cars as well, and of course against some road cars. In a straight line, it's not really a monster, and around corners it can be beaten, but it's pretty good at most things. This isn't a car, as I said earlier on, that's going to absolutely blow your mind or be the best in any particular way. But like some other touring cars, such as the Mazda 6 touring car, the value, and especially just the affordability of these vehicles, automatically makes them a good deal. The performance that you get from the car for 75 grand is very good. It's cheaper than most other touring cars, rally cars, and various other types of racing vehicle. So overall, although it's not a vehicle which, as I said, is going to blow your mind, don't expect it to be that kind of car, and don't necessarily expect it to dominate every situation that you enter, but it certainly has the capability to win, and for the money, if you are looking for something which certainly isn't overused by most players, you may want to give the Altezza a try. But that's it overall for this particular pick. I'll see you guys next time, and as always, thanks for watching.